I'd like to introduce Kat from the United States. Welcome, Kat.
Thank you.
Could you tell us for what conditions you take LDN?
Mostly for fibromyalgia, but I have noticed that it has helped the interstitial cystitis, the arthritis that I have, and also I have an SI joint dysfunction, a displacement of my sacrum, and I think the LDN helps a great deal with dealing with the pain of that.
When did you first starting to notice symptoms?
Well, a car ran into my legs in February of 2004, and that definitely started the physical pain from the injury that caused. But I think that was what triggered the fibromyalgia and possibly triggered the arthritis and the bladder problem, the interstitial cystitis as well.
So when were you actually diagnosed? Can you remember?
I think it was around 2007. I'm not sure. It took a little while. I had a lot of different doctors saying, "Oh, you don't have fibromyalgia" before, and I kept bringing it up to them because I had such pervasive pain everywhere else, but where the injury was too, and it didn't make much sense to me. And the fatigue was something that I'd never dealt with before, but they poo-pooed it for quite a while before somebody finally said yes.
So what symptoms do you get with the fibromyalgia other than, the pain and the fatigue?
The extreme fatigue, constant headaches, different odd pains that would come at random and not make much sense. Fibromyalgia has so many. in gastric and digestive problems, the bladder problems, I don't know, they're all sort of wrapped up together.
And how old were you at the time of diagnosis?
Let's see, 52.
52. So how did it affect you, being given this label?
I think it helped a little bit. For one thing, it helps you not feel like you're totally crazy. In a way it helped, and in a way fibromyalgia still wasn't very paid attention to. A lot of people still thought it was all in your head or thought that it wasn't existent, or they just plain didn't know much about it.
Yes.
But to me it gave me a direction, something to start researching. And it was through researching the fibromyalgia that I came across LDN. So that was pivotal. Good.
So when you first started LDN, did you notice any side effects?
The side effects were very, very slight compared to I was having outrageous reactions to all the poisonous stuff they were trying to put me on. And the LDN was only a little stomach disturbance, which I'm not sure if that was from coming off the narcotics or if that was LDN. A little bit of strange dreaming, and I already had sleep disturbance, so I can't attribute it to that. But these things were very, very short-lived.
Okay. And did your own doctor prescribe the LDN for you?
He did after I took him a packet. I had taken a packet of information to my pain management doctor 3 different times and been told no. And then my primary care doctor is also a homeopath, so I decided I might have better luck with him, and I took the same packet of information into him, and he said, "Well, it doesn't look like it could hurt you. Why don't we try it?" So we did, and it was interesting because after I'd been on it for a while, the primary care doctor just looked at me and said, "My gosh, you look so different." And then I went into the pain management doctor the next month, and he said, "What have you been doing? There's a light in your face. It's like you look so free of pain compared to what you've been." And he actually called his colleague in, and they started peppering me with questions. And both of these guys actually said, "Thank you for telling us about this." And they're pretty egotistical doctors, so to have them say that was a shock.
Hmm. So what would you say for people who are listening to this that LDN has helped with what symptoms?
It has given me sleep, decent sleep. It has given me a lot more energy. Getting off the narcotics and getting onto the LDN, my mind is clear. I can think again. The pain is very much reduced. The injury pain that I still have, I think, is a lot more manageable because of the LDN. In fact, about a month ago, I forgot to put the LDN in my little pill organizer. And after 3 days, I felt like I'd been beaten up with a baseball bat again. So I know for sure that that's the thing that is making the difference. And like I said, the injury pain is so much easier to manage with the LDN. I think it's doing a lot of things. I've been sick less. I think it's doing quite a lot of things.
Mm. How long have you been taking the LDN now?
Almost a year.
Mm-hmm.
I started at 1.5 milligrams at night for a couple of weeks, then went up to 3 milligrams at night for a couple more weeks, and then up to 4.5. And after a month or so on the 4.5, I was still having quite a few days where I felt really exhausted and kind of painful. So Ginny Dudek had said that she was on the dose 4.5 at night and in the morning. Mm-hmm. So I did what she was doing, and that's been really good for me, the 2 doses.
Yes. What would you say to other people who are contemplating taking LDN for fibromyalgia?
For fibro, I've heard of it for Crohn's, for multiple sclerosis, for RA, for IBS, for all kinds of things. They have to know that there's hardly any side effects to it, and just give it a go. Just don't let anything stop you from getting it, and be patient with it. I've heard of one woman who it took about 6 months to feel a difference, but then I've heard a lot of people say that the next day they felt different, and by the next week they were able to exercise again, or go shopping again, or do things outside of the house again, whereas they hadn't before. I'd say let nothing stop you from getting it. Order it from one of those mail order online sites and make your own if you have to. And after your doctors see the difference in you, they'll probably prescribe it for you.
So are you going to continue taking LDN?
I hope I can take it the rest of my life. I hope nothing happens where a doctor won't prescribe it for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you very much, Kat, for sharing your story with us.
Oh, you're welcome. And in my email, I think there's a little more detail if you needed it, but I just really encourage everybody to give this a go, because it will give you your life back. It truly will.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks for your work.